Nevada, Austin? What does that mean? Hola, chicas. Hello, Danny. Welcome, Raider. Mr. Pepe. Hey, it's good, Miguel. How you doing? Welcome. Didn't hear if you responded to my last question. Have you heard of Veda Austin? Again, let me check again what that is. Welcome everybody to Simulation Talk 85. I don't know what that is. Yeah, you're gonna have to be a little bit more specific, so it doesn't ring a bell. Welcome everybody to Simulation Talk 85. Chris, how are you, Matthew? Good to see you. Apple user. Welcome everybody. What's up, Clipnity? Welcome to Simulation Talk 85. To all the newcomers, this channel usually revolves around the simulation hypothesis. My name is Danny, and I'm claiming to have found actual proof that we live in a simulation. We meet here every single day to discuss the experiment, the discovery, the implications, as well as science in general, religion, spirituality, God, whatever comes to mind. So welcome. Welcome to everybody on YouTube and TikTok, on Twitch and X. Glad to see you all. We'll wait for a couple more minutes before we kick the whole thing off. Let's see. Benjamin, Melissa. Welcome everyone. So, let's see what we got today. Zuzi, allow that taping. Ooh, let me put us on do not disturb, because otherwise that video just blew my mind, man. Can't wait for it to come out. I appreciate it, Clipnity. The person who's behind the vision for the film and the trailer that you saw is Aaron Venden, an incredible director and editor. He reached out to me a few years ago about doing a documentary about the piece, and here we are. And so, but I appreciate what you're saying, because it's definitely exciting, and we're happy to share it with the world, with what we are coming up. There seems to be very interesting things happening in general, so we're going to be sharing it as we go. Welcome everybody. Okay, we're going to give one more minute to TikTok to pick up. I'm not really sure why it takes a while today. But at least we have a good uptake on YouTube. And I'm not sure if this is also people from X or Twitch, because I see it all in one spot, but I would assume it is mostly from YouTube. If anybody is here on X or Twitch, feel free to let me know. For my guest. Who are we talking about, President Zanny? Are we talking about Rose? Oh, we should probably let her know that we're coming on in a moment. Hopefully either she can see it. Joseph, welcome everybody. Okay, I think this is yeah, Rose, the Harvard lady. Nico, how are you, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for sharing, thank you for liking. How much Tesla power do you need? 3.3 at least. Why, do you have a way that we can potentially do that? That'd be great. What do I think happens when we die? I'm not really sure. That's a very broad question. I wish I knew. Thank you, Larry Nelson. I appreciate you. One fragment got. What does that mean? I don't know. Sometimes TikTok throws all kinds of things at you. Okay, is it possible that we live in a simulation, a simulacrum? So the only difference between simulation and simulacrum is that simulacrum technically is a simulation without a fundamental base. So it's not based on anything, it's its own thing. This is why these distinctions don't really matter all that much, at least for this part of the conversation. Is it possible that we're not? It's funny. I think it's a simulacrum either way, right? So I'm saying it's a simulation either way, but even a simulacrum is definitely either way, because either it's rendered by the laws of physics or it's rendered by your brain on top of the physical laws of physics. Either way, that's some type of a simulacrum. But I'm saying that it's also a type of a simulation as well. I wish, but most MRI machines have this, right? Just pay a junior MRI technician to sneak you into medical emergency. Yeah, that's all. No big deal. No, we're gonna do it the simple way. We're gonna either find a way to get this device, or we're gonna get access to a lab. We're gonna do it the proper way. Okay, so I think at this point we can dive right in. I'm gonna reiterate one more time. Welcome to Simulation Talk 85. This channel usually revolves around simulation hypothesis. My name is Danny, and I'm claiming to have found actual proof that we live in a simulation. A few years ago, I discovered that if you project a diffracted laser on the surface and you ingest a particular molecule that I cannot really name here on the live chat, you will see code running in surfaces. This has now been replicated over 1,000 times worldwide and connected me with some of the most leading researchers in the field. It does not mean that all of them agree with my conclusions, but this is an ongoing conversation that we are deciphering together. I have my convictions, and I can talk about these convictions and why. And as many of you have seen, we're working on a documentary on the subject to, give more of a deeper look into what is going on and how this all came to be. We meet here every single day to discuss both the experiment, the implications, as well as science in general, religion, spirituality, philosophy, God, whatever comes to mind. Thank you for the likes, guys. I appreciate you. And we have personal comments, why my brain is stopped for some reason. Gigi is saying, bro, you look so nice. I like the beard. Thank you. I appreciate that. It makes me feel good inside. Are you talking about the Jesus link today? Sure. Yeah, we can unpack that. I think so. I think the disappointing part about this whole portion of the conversation is that there's not much more to be said aside from the fact that I saw that element and it was clear to me that it's real. We can talk about what I possibly think that the implication in terms of how it's all positioned, but all of these are going to be speculations. Obviously, all I can tell you with anyone is that I saw something very real, that to the extent that I'm taking what I'm being shown seriously, that element is there. That's what I can tell you for sure. But yeah, we can probably unpack that a little bit more later. Have any of the characters been written down? Yes, they were. In fact, you see some of that in the trailer. If you haven't watched the trailer, you can watch it on the YouTube channel. Oh, you are on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure you saw it then. And in the beginning, when you see a piece of paper, there's these Japanese-looking characters. That's exactly what it looks like. And there's obviously a lot more, but that's kind of like the general vibe of what it seems to be. I see hexagons when I do substance. What do you think that means? That, yes. So do you see the hexagons where? Do you see them on surfaces? Do you see them where? In your mind? Compliments is the word I forgot before. I said there's a personal compliments, and I forgot the word compliments for some reason. So that's where my brain is at right now. Harvard lady, Jesus element, simulator layer description. These were postponed as topics in the last few days. Okay, I get the picture. We want to talk about that. Okay, thank you, Danny. Thank you for the reminder. What if you use a magnifying scope to see better? Yeah, in fact, in the first lasers that I've built, if you watch my first video on the subject, which I now linked at the bottom of the trailer, I'm showing the first lasers I've built, and they all have the microscope lens, which definitely helps you see it better. Telescope, I'm not sure. I haven't tried. How did the event happen when you first saw it? Like, what led up to it? It's a long story. That's what the documentary is going to be about. It's a process that took years. So in order to fully unpack that, we're gonna have to finish the documentary and present it. So there is a YouTuber named Archaics, and he has a lot of videos about the simulacrum combining of evidence, and his makes me believe more that it might be possible. Archaics. Yeah, so I guess the main difference between how I see my work and all the postulations about simulations and simulacrums is that at least for me, I'm not really proposing any philosophical. I'm looking it up right now. Any philosophical proposition. I'm purely resting on an experiment, so I'm putting it into the experimental, not so much into the postulation behind it, because I feel like postulating around it is kind of going in circles. And I personally was never really interested in the hypothesis, the simulation idea. I always say this: the simulation idea is not really. It makes it more messy than it organizes anything, and it's something about my brain that doesn't like that. But what's up, couples light? I appreciate you for always being here. Maybe we should email Rose just to let her know that we're here. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Now she knows. Now she knows for sure. Let's see what we got here. Aaron is in the house. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. I was just talking about you. Divergent Normie, haven't seen you in a second. Okay. Let's see what we got. Have you encountered any entities? I see them all the time, yeah. See them on a regular basis. I call them the simulators. They're basically the layer above us that is kind of tending to the simulation. They're either the managerial level or they're the creators of it. It looks like more they're the management company. You should talk to Rizwan Verk. So you guys have to give me a little bit more. Oh yeah, I saw that conversation. Super nice guy. But this is actually one of the perfect examples of going in circles. I saw the conversation with Joe Rogan, and it's just kind of like, 50 open threads of ideas, and none of them actually connect in any concrete way. Again, he looks like a lovely person, and actually might be fun to talk to him. But this is why I keep saying I'm the philosophical proposition, no matter how strong. I mean, in the end of the day, the person who put forth the strongest case till today is Bostrom, and that paper was written when 20 years ago now, I think. So, and even there, it's like, okay, it's kind of like, what are we doing with it? Like, does it hold water in any way that can actually be, put on the table for anything? And that's the thing that I'm really interested in. I'm very interested to talk to people that are both open-minded and have like good ideas about it. But if it's along the lines of just like raising more questions and more questions because they all make sense to some degree, I feel like that's gonna confuse us too much. Because what I'm saying is that now we have a way to look at something and then start investigating it versus playing with all the philosophical ideas. Does the code have this feel? One, the top view or Oriole bird's view of landscape moving, a constant assembly from small characters. If I'm understanding you correctly, kind of, yeah. So Veda Austin, the same way that you discovered the laser and the molecule, she's discovered that water speaks in pictures and letters called hieroglyphs. I know it sounds crazy, but no, it doesn't sound crazy. It just needs to be you need to show something for it. And I guess you're saying she did, right? So is that the same experiment with the water when you put it on pictures and then you freeze it and then it kind of remembers or is that something else? What's up, Doki Pickles? Great handle, by the way. Always excited about comments from X. Dan, after a Kundalini awakening that lasted 9 days, I've recently been seeing these codes after walking up at night. I've seen them 3 times now. No substances in my system at all. Yeah, so first of all, Doki Pickles, thank you for sharing that. Just so you know, this is literally the most common email I get. I see the code without the laser, or I see the code without the substances. Now, usually, when the regulars here would know, I repeat the same thing almost every evening. Usually, when I investigate further, not always, a couple of cases weren't like that, but usually when I investigate further, these codes are a little different because they're more malleable. In other words, you can actually change them with your attention to something else. And they're a little bigger in size, and they're kind of subsumed in surfaces, and they kind of run in between the layers, so to speak. I don't know if that's the case for you. Feel free to tell me what it's like for you. I'm just telling you that 99% of the people that email me with this statement, when you dig deeper, it is what I just said. And then in the laser, it seems to always be what it is, unchangeable. No matter what you do, you can't change it. Not your mood, not music, not nothing. It's just what it is. It seems to be coding for something, what we would call objective reality. And I think that the codes that people see without, because I also see code without the laser when I'm on the molecule, but it's different, and I can change it with my attention, and that's what makes me think that it's a different layer of the code. So it's like that code is closer to what we are as beings, and this is also why you can actually change it with your attention. And there are layers of the code for a more objective layer, like the substance of what holds this world together, which I guess you would call the laws of physics. And I think that's the difference between them. But feel free to correct me and let me know that maybe what you see is also this concrete, basically. Most visible on walls. Interesting. Bought a copy of that chapbook. $90. What chapbook? Sorry, the Juggler's Assistant. A side view transparency of surface lit duplicate into an infinite hallway on the z-axis. Why specifically the z-axis and not all 3 axes? I wonder if you could double project the code into another surface using a crystal prism or something that might be able to do that, but I'm not sure. So thank you again for all these ideas. Prisms, it can be fun to play with them, but with the laser, the prism is kind of not really doing anything because there's nothing to split. You can use it in terms like so in holography, you can use all kinds of angles of light to achieve a hologram, which, by the way, is one of these principles that I'm now following to kind of reverse engineer what we might be seeing. But as far as splitting the beam, it's not going to happen because you don't have it's a coherent light, so it's a laser. You can't really split it to other frequencies. But it definitely something that we'll be playing with among all the experiments. I've encountered 7 gesture entities. They said someday soon the circus will come to town. Whoa, it sounds about right. Have you listened to the testimony of the Imperial College study participant that described entities encourage them into space while attaching medical equipment? Yeah, so this is Alex Boehner. I actually have an interview with him on my channel. You can scroll down on YouTube and you'll see I have an interview with Alex. The symbols were changing but holding place. Agreed at a rapid pace. So it might be what you're saying. You might be seeing the same thing, Dookie Pickles. And if you don't mind, if you can just email me the details, that would be great, because we're a little limited here on the number of things you can say in one text, I think. My email is lasersimulationx x@gmail.com. There you go. Can we modify it in the moment? Not the laser and the code, no. Sorry, not the code and the lasers. Yeah, my brain is like I don't know why, but I'm like fading today. Nostrum's thesis B. What does that mean? Nostrum's thesis B. What do you think about the Bible saying that all things were created through the Word, that all things consist of the Word and are held together by the Word? Is there a correlation? Prism through amplitahedron. That's awesome. Did you? This is interesting. Not many people know about this. This is cool. Couples light. Are you talking about Donald Hoffman's work, or what's his name? The physicist. Arkani Hamed. Is that from him or from Hoffman? To your question about the world being created through the Word. Yeah, I'm sure there's a connection, and I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of wisdom in the Bible that basically maps onto what the higher space was trying to say. And the word can be interpreted in many ways, and it can be interpreted as the actual language through which everything came to be. So yeah, I would say there is a correlation, but I think that in order to get to something that is truly coherent, you gotta really dive pretty deep there. And I think it's a whole. Maybe one day I'll do like a video about this. We'll see, because it takes some pretty deep diving there. Saw your trailer thing over on X. Is there a full film coming or already released I can watch? No, not yet, unfortunately. Triple Bogey Boys. Oh, like Boogie Nights or what is Boogie? Sorry. No, there's no film yet. Working on it. It's a budget thing. We're working on it when we have time now. If we get a good budget, then we'll be able to focus on it full time, and then we can release it probably within 4 months. If not, then we'll release it when it's ready. But it will definitely be made, and a lot of it is shot, and we'll just keep working on it. Could you get someone with Neuralink to record what they are seeing if they partook in the experiment? With advanced versions of Neuralink, yes. That's actually probably the only way forward in any like concrete terms, I would say. Z-axis in front of the viewer. You mean towards depth is what you mean. Okay. Yeah, so all the stuff that you said, Danny, it kind of sounds like that, yeah. But why are you asking? Do you think you saw it without the substances? Yes, you got it. Look up hieroglyphs if you can. I wonder if those are the same letters. No, they're not. I can tell you right away. Yeah, definitely not. Definitely does not look like that. It straight up looks like in the movie. It looks like Japanese mixed with some Hebrew letters and some regular numbers. This is why it's so surprising, because it doesn't look like the Alison Gray characters. It doesn't look like hieroglyphs. It doesn't look like Babylonian. It straight up looks like Japanese. It's not Japanese. I had somebody who speaks Japanese to verify that it is not, but it's strange. I think what you found is what I have been seeing during my, can't say the name of the molecule, but some other molecule of the last 10 years. Symbols, letters, numbers, most of the time in a purple and gold hue. Can't know. I can't know until we actually compare. I can't quite make out the characters, though. They seem to be a mixture of Sanskrit, ancient Hebrew, cuneiform, and other symbols I don't recognize. Sounds about right, but again, until we can't really record through Neuralink or something like that, yeah, it'll be difficult. Yeah, I think Donald Hoffman's work is very promising. Couples Light. Is there a documentary coming, or are you releasing your test results soon? We just found you and we're very interested. Thank you, Osborne. Documentary is being worked on, and we're constantly doing more tests and working on a new layer of experiments that we'll start hopefully doing soon. But I'll keep updating, obviously. Let me take some comments on TikTok. Give YouTube a lot of love. Any plans to learn the language? I think at the moment it's going to be impossible, because it's not something that your brain can handle as far as the amount of information that is in any given moment. There's a lot going on. There's millions of characters moving very rapidly. So you can discern that something very concrete is going on, but you can't really like specifically focus on any particular area and start kind of like remembering what the sequence was. I think you'll only be able to do it when, like I said, a very advanced way to like record directly from the cortex or something of that sort. So um, for now, I think creating perturbations in the code and seeing if we can see a coherent change to the code in a way that everybody can agree on would be the way to go. So we can start talking about correlation between what happens with the code when it changes, when a certain physical effect is present, and build from there. I think that's the only viable way at the moment. What is it saying? I think it's space-time. I think it literally codes. That's why I call it the code of reality, because I think it codes for space-time itself and for everything that's going on in it. Let me see what we missed here, because I know there's a lot of comments back. What's up, Timothy? Okay, put us some right now. Hold on. I'm gonna go way back because I know we have a lot of things I missed. Okay. Also, TikTok, just so you know, usually, are we perfectly in the middle of a white hole and black hole, therefore zero? I'm not sure. It's one of these questions that I don't even know. I don't even know if it's clear to you what you're asking. This is all for attention to build following for this news movies that are coming out soon. No, but okay. And it seems to be working. Yeah, but also no, it's definitely not a publicity stunt. I see a spiral in between my regular eye sight. Interesting. What kind of spiral? You mean like where the third eye is? Okay. Okay. Can be induced endogenously or taken exogenously. True. Okay. All right. So it seems like my thoughts on string theory. Nico, you have the best questions. One liner. Explain. Give me all your thoughts on string theory. Go. Um, I don't think I have any that are worth paying attention to. I think I don't know. I was always very interested in M theory just because it's cool and there's something very enigmatic and interesting about the how crazy bizarre it is. But you know all the stuff online, right? There's the people are criticizing it, and I'm not. I think unless any one of us understands the deep mathematics behind it, we're not really in a position to comment on it. I mean, I know probably the same thing you do, which is that its predictive power limited by the fact that it predicts some 10 to the power 500 possible worlds, which essentially is like infinite number of worlds for all intents and purposes. So the one of the biggest criticisms is that that's not a predictive power. That's just like saying anything is possible. And this is why a lot of people say that mathematically it's a frame to build anything, not a theory of everything. And that's, again, this is something that probably a lot of people here know because you probably heard some other people talk about it online. Um, as far as what I really feel about it, I guess, if I have to kind of look at, all the parameters and paying attention to, what the kind of leading physicists are working on and my own intuition regarding also combining what I know from this higher space, M theory seems to be some kind of a frame that can be helpful. I would agree, though, that unless it can produce some element that can actually be measured, then it shouldn't be considered physics. I think that makes sense. I mean, you can say that it's a very profound mathematical framework. That's just my intuition. But again, I'm not in that field, and I know a physicist who he's started from string theory, and yeah, like the mathematical chops that one is required to have for dealing with string theory is insane. So, if somebody is somewhat mathematically literate, and you want to get a really good dive, is actually Kurt from the Theories of Everything had a whole 3-hour episode just on string theory. and I watched it. I think he did like an incredible job, just unbelievable. And even some Sean Carroll, I think, and some other physicists like commended him on that because that's incredible. I think what he's doing is amazing in general, um, because he gets to talk to the smartest people in the world. He has a background in mathematical physics and he understands these things. But look at how beautiful it is. Because of his YouTube channel, he gets to talk to the most brilliant minds in all these fields, collect all that information, and he's kind of building his own theory of everything in the middle, which is amazing. He would be a great person to interview, actually. Now that I think of it, maybe I should think about bringing him on. And yeah, so that would be my opinion, which is not a real opinion. It's just more like a feeling. I do my maybe because I really it really grabbed me a few years ago, like for many people. M theory, which is the theory that combines all string theories together, is there's something very beautiful about it. Like it feels very special, but that's just a feeling. I never know. I feel like Wolfram. It like my true intuition is that Wolfram is much closer to play the game of theoretical physics that can map on a frame that can actually map onto real world functions, at least in anytime soon. But we'll see. I don't know if this actually added any real information, but here we are. Why does it matter? Actually, hilarious. Why does what matter? Your laser's coming tomorrow. Amazing, fun guy. Why does it matter? Because he's trying to trick people. Oh my god. Look. I don't. Oh yeah, this is a bot. Okay, listen, Trippy, whatever your name is. So this chat is open for everybody, and we're here to enjoy ourselves. Either say something constructive or don't be here. So I'm not gonna kick you out because everybody are welcome to be here and to have a conversation. But if all you have to say is just to throw, dirt, like, okay, we heard you. I'm giving you one more chance. Say one more negative comment for no reason without adding anything, and I'll have to kick you out. So I'm gonna give you one warning. Not any more of them. When will he deceive me? What do you think it's saying? Oh, okay, I read that. Cal, how you doing, brother? Please don't get abducted by the Hatman. I'll try. Hey, Danny, where are you releasing the doc? Online, only Netflix, other? Great question, Cal. Distribution is a whole game all by itself. We'll see. This is something we're figuring out. I don't know if Netflix is a viable option because Netflix just buys you out and they basically take all your rights from the movie. They basically pay you money and that's not yours anymore. And I don't think with this particular project is the right energetic arrangement. So unfortunately, I don't think, again, you never know, but I feel like Netflix is just the wrong vibe. We spoke to some people that scout and work with people that scout for Netflix, and they said, yeah, Netflix is not interested in anything else but buying it off of your hands, and that's not yours anymore. So feels wrong, but we'll see. I think I've seen something similar in my glasses when the light was hitting them in a certain way. Yep, exactly. Everybody should go and watch. This is actually something that I've only... It was actually one of these crazy synchronicities that I'm not going to get into every single detail of them right now. But it was a set of events that was happening to me and my understanding and everything. And at the same time, I all of a sudden saw a clip. I think it was yesterday or the day before, actually. By 3 Blue 1 Brown. If you guys are not familiar, it's a great channel that does mathematics education with great graphics and stuff. Very fun channel in general. And he released a video yesterday about holograms, about holography in general and lasers. And I was like, it's so strange because usually he only talks about mathematics. And obviously he dressed it up through a mathematical framework, and he was teaching you math. He's teaching you math through how holography works, which is fascinating. But then he released this episode right when I was thinking about all this stuff, and I started connecting the dots. So everybody should go on YouTube, watch 3 Blue 1 Brown holography, and it's actually the last video he released. So 3 Blue 1 Brown is the name of the channel, and it's the last video he released. And I think, especially the people here who saw the code, you're gonna have a lot of like aha moments. You'd be like, oh my god, it's exactly what it looks like. Now we have to map onto exactly how this relates to our world, because we can't be in a regular hologram. It has to be, we can say, look, it's a three-dimensional hologram. Well, not quite, because the 3D is an illusion in a hologram. It has to be looked at through a 2D surface. The second you pass the 180, the side of the the surface through which you're seeing the illusion, it disappears. But because our illusion doesn't disappear, this is 3D, that means that it must be a 4D hologram of some sort. And it takes some doing to figure out how to map that on a picture like that. I have some ideas, and also potentially they're actually looking back at what the surface to which the hologram is projected. But this is all in its infancy. So, but everybody should watch that video because it's well, both great and educational and fun, but also it relates directly to what I think is going on. I think I've seen something similar in my glasses. Oh, that's what made me think of that comment. Nope. So thank you so much for that. It has to do with the angle. 3 blue, 1 brown. Yes, indeed. Why can't you show us what you see? What do you mean by that? I'm not really sure. How do you keep your hair so long and healthy looking? Unfortunately, this is laziness and genes. I don't know. My hair right now actually looks a little crazy, but I appreciate the compliment again. Today, a lot of great compliments for physicalities. Makes me feel good, so I'm not complaining. Hey, Paul. No, I'm not blocking people for that yet. So if that person decides to change their tune and participate, I'm good. We're all good. But yeah, if you're not contributing, usually there's what are you doing here then? I asked Kip Thorne about his thoughts on Wolfram's work, and he said he hopes to be around to see it. Yep, I really think there's. Oh, so you were there? Okay, now I understand, Nico. You were there for the signing. Okay, got it. That makes sense. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you. Bobo, thank you so much. So the basic concept is to look at the laser in the wall being filtered through something. Water glass? No, it has to be diffracted first. The refraction in the water somehow helps it see it easier. And again, I think it has something to do with holography, directly, actually. Mature. Can we buy the laser? Yeah, you can go to codeofreality.com. People asked us, so we started making like a version of that. But you also have a list there of things you can just buy on Amazon or Alibaba. I always say this because it's important to be very transparent about it. We're only making them because people insist when they don't want to deal with it. But you can just source it yourself, and it will be way cheaper. So if you can just look at the list, as long as it matches the specs of what you see on the list, get it anywhere. It doesn't matter. Just never get anything above 5 milliwatts, and make sure that you have the items that you have on the list, and then source it from anywhere you want. It's much cheaper, or if you want, you can buy the one that we make and we'll ship it and everything. It's just much more compacted. Oh my god, my brain today. Can't even speak. Anyways, it's codeofreality.com. Who was the string theory guy you were talking about? I wasn't talking about anybody in particular in string theory, but M theory was devised by Cal, help me with the name quickly. Let's see if I can remember, because my brain is already fried today for some reason. Also, this music it drives me crazy. It's so loud. Okay. Okay, I think I need to ask them to lower it a little bit. This is crazy. Hold on. I can't even think. And I don't want to look it up. I don't want to succumb to that. Hold on. All right, that's better. Ed Witten. And no, I didn't go looking for it. I just went to load the music and went to the bathroom real quick. But Ed Witten is the person who came up with M theory combined. There was an issue that string theory had a lot of branches, and they seem to also even contradict one another in some portions. So eventually, the genius Ed Witten combined all of them to M theory. That's maybe the only person I can think of that we're talking about here. Dr. Jill Stein hiding from you. Let's see. Fake Empire was it? Oh yeah, that is a great song. It's a good thing. Oh, by the way, Aaron, I gotta talk to you. There's another. We have a great composer that we're thinking about for the film, but there's another composer I'm thinking about, and I'm gonna send you some of his stuff. It's amazing. Hawking was a big M theory fan. Hawking was? I did not know that. I didn't want a picture with Kip or his autograph. I just wanted to know if he's aware of Wolfram. That's amazing. Loving this laser theory. What type of filter? It comes with it from Amazon. Again, look at the list on codeofreality.com. The diode that we're showing there, you can buy either that one or any other one that is kind of like that. It already comes with the lens on it. It just diffracts it. It's very simple. What's up, Ria? Who was the string theory guy? Okay, finally we got to the last comment. Thank you, Westside. Appreciate you. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. How has this changed your life besides the info and doing social media? In the beginning, I'll be honest, not much. Not in many ways, because it's just kind of like, okay, now what, right? But I think it did change some. Like it put more emphasis on trying to live a better life, because both I know for a fact now that there's more, so it's worth preserving yourself even more. And it's not like I was abusing myself before or my body, but it really made me put more emphasis on living a healthier life as a person, and also mentally, honestly. Like, even though I've always been a seeker, and I meditate, but it made me put more emphasis on that. Like, really challenge myself on the daily. What can I do today to be better in some way? Like, truly, not like to say, but to actually do. Like, if I catch myself like, in a mood, and then can I be, just a little bit better than I usually am. I think that's the only truly, like, if I have to point to one thing that it really changed, I think it's that, at the moment at least. But also made life a lot more exciting and fun. So, alright, so Duxermeister, I think this is a bot. You're out. These comments will not fly here. See ya. Okay, did he answer if anyone has drawn what they see? Yeah, it's actually in the trailer itself. That is a great song. It is a great song. It's just like it competes with my thoughts. Try and use CDS for diffraction, but I don't know if that will work. Sorry, I think my brain is too slow to. But what is CDS? Thank you, Dr. Jill. What is that? Wait, why don't they have hyperlinks here? Thank you, Fungi. I don't know what you shared, but I ask because I see when in the liminal phase, and I'm trying to understand. What's up, TikToker? That's a great handle. Okay, I'm gonna do some YouTube comments because I neglected YouTube for a second here. Also, if YouTube doesn't mind, if you guys don't mind liking the live, it really helps the live. Same goes for, thank you, Nico. Same goes for obviously TikTok and Twitch and X. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Okay, moving to YouTube for a second. Let's see what we got here. How are able to create experience? But then, how are able to create experiences then, e.g., our unconscious mind and thoughts? Wait, let me go back because maybe I missed your comment before, Paul. Nope, I don't see a comment before. If you can just re-ask the question more clearly, sorry. Osborne is saying used to get on the Joe Rogan show and get Joe Rogan to do your experiment live. I think he would do a couple hours special with you. That would be amazing. I mean, yeah, that would be amazing. The truth is that at this point, I'm kind of like one step removed from Joe. People that know him directly, I told them about it. But as you can possibly imagine, Joe is a very famous and a very important person. So, especially the people who are close to him, I think it's wise. Like I totally get it. Until something is not like fully like there, or they saw it for themselves, I don't think they would bother Joe with that, right? So it's a matter of it becoming big enough, and I think when it will, the fact that I do know some people that know him might help. But also I do think that he's really gonna love the film, so that might do it. But yeah, Joe would totally be into it, and because it's actually there, you know. So we'll get there. Now the side field description or top bird eye view field was closer in your opinion. I'm not sure. I think it's more the side view than bird eye view for sure. Thank you, Miranda Bege. You should get on the Joe Rogan show. I agree. Couldn't agree more. So donate, bros. Yeah, donate, bros. No, for real though. I mean, if the reason we're running the campaign is because it is expensive to make a film. So luckily, both me and Aaron are filmmakers. So we do it when we have time. And again, we've done quite a bit of it already. Aaron is just, I can't say this enough. He's just like a powerhouse, and he's such a visionary and such a genius in what he does. And I couldn't ask for a better partner in this endeavor. But still, we still have to do things aside from working on the film. If we get a good enough budget, we can just focus on it full time and can produce something of even a higher quality than we even planned. If not, fear not, we will still produce the film. It will still be done. It will just take a little longer. That's all. But yeah, donate, bros. So you can go to YouTube to either the link tree on TikTok or on YouTube, and you can watch the trailer. And there's a link to the GoFundMe there. Again, only if this is something that is not a problem for you. I would never want a person to donate if it's like a stretch for them. So that, I think that's all the advertisement we're gonna do for this live. Interesting Japanese like characters, yeah, which is kind of funny. Nico sent me one of the regular people that come on TikTok usually. He sent me this meme today, which I actually knew about it, which is really funny. I don't know if you guys know, but for the movie The Matrix, the reason that the reason that it's Japanese, the characters, it's literally old sushi menus that they just took letters from and they randomly scrambled it. So it's really hilarious. But I do think that what's going on here is that people that are creative, they're usually connected to kind of whatever the system is doing, right? The higher space, whatever. So these ideas, I think, sip through their process. So I don't think it's that surprising that it kind of looks like that, to be honest. Another comment from X. Is the chat he's responding to on YouTube? No, the one I was responding to was on TikTok. I'd like to fly out wherever you are and do the experiment, please. I understand, Osborne, but I have a pretty crazy schedule at this point, and I'm not even home. I'm traveling. But again, you can always email me, lasersimulationx@gmail.com, and I answer all my emails. So it's lasersimulationx@gmail.com. By the way, let me know. I never thought about that. Do you see my comments on X when I'm typing them? I know YouTube does and Twitch does, but X sees my comments or no? Hey, I'd like to fly out to wherever you are. Oh, we just saw it. If you're able to give us some more insight into your console experience or forward me to where I could find you elaborating on this. Already listened to all your channel videos about it. Yeah, so not yet, but working on a new video about it. That's going to have more information, including some new graphics that will be much more specific. But thank you for the question. You talk about simulation managers. What do you think about the simulation being run by AI? Well, for sure it's run by AI. Just to be clear, like everything has to be automated. Even in the case, by the way, even in the case of what you would imagine God to be, it it God would automate the system. He's not going to be like, he has stuff to do. He is God. Automation is the way to go either way. Um, I heard that NASA astronauts, when they go into space and they leave Earth's atmosphere, they are seeing simple as light of pinging off the retina. Yeah, but that's I don't think that's a mystery phenomena unless you're talking about something a little different. That has to do with radiation. It's literally they see radiation penetrating. Um, Find a system that you can use to get that conscious state. People use meditation, music, art, prayer, philosophy, hallucinogens, science as vehicles to understand. Love that comment. I would be willing to lend my filmmaking editing abilities to this project if you end up needing editors. I am blown away by this discovery, like I have said above. I have seen similar code. Thank you so much, Triple Bogey Boys. I really appreciate you. Both me and Aaron are editors, so at the moment at least, we have the editors. But you never know. Email me, and if we all of a sudden need to, spread more work because there's too much of it, you never know. Might be able to use you. So please just email me with this. lasersimulationx@gmail.com. Doki Pickles saying, I'd be more than happy to tell you more in depth of my experience. Send me your email. I missed it. Again, it's lasersimulationx. I should just put it somewhere. x@gmail.com. There you go. Language. I think the best thing is to continue to repeat the experiment with as many people as possible and film their testimonials. Well, that's already what's happening. But what I'm interested in is to see if we can take it one step further. I want to see if it's possible to actually do something with it that would not be possible without it being a real thing and what I'm claiming it to be. So that's what I'm focused on. I really want to see if we can do something physical with it and bring it into the physics domain, basically. People will spend a lot of time, I know, in the cognitive science and neuroscience community proving or trying to disprove this phenomena is real or not real. That's fine, very important, but again, I don't need the proof. I know it's real, so now I'm interested to see if we can work and actually make it do something or understand something through it. Have you considered mathematical links like the Mandelbrot set, Fibonacci sequences, or toroidal energy fields? Absolutely. In fact, I would say that at least the Mandelbrot set is definitely directly involved. Trying to think if I can maybe give it like a 1-minute brush of that explanation. But no, you know what? Let's reserve it for another day. We can unpack this, but it's a longish route. But definitely, the short answer is definitely considered it. So excited to make it to the live. How are you, Lion Gray? Good to see you. Also, what a great image. I don't know, it's too small for me, but it almost looks like Sephiroth or something. Find someone with a verified photographic memory and have them view the code under your substance. Then ask them to write it down. They can. Yeah, it's a great idea. But just so you know, there's maybe 5 people like that on the entire planet. That's not a real thing. I mean, it is, but not as often as people think. People say, I have photographic memory. No, you don't. There's only like 5 people on the planet that have that. Like, truly. There's that savant that they flew him over Rome, and he could remember literally every detail aside from like 2 windows or something, and he drew the whole thing. So on that level, you have maybe 5 people on the entire planet, maybe less. It's actually a type of a disorder, I think. But yeah, it would be a great idea. Or we wait for a more advanced version of Neuralink to come out so you can record directly from the cortex. I think it would be much more reliable. Hey, Danny Plasma. You can't let it go. Hi, Eric. Evan Swanson. Then I had an experience yesterday. It's real crazy fine. What distance away from the wall do you prefer the laser to be? It seems the closer the better, almost as if it illuminates the characters more. Great question, Evan. The truth is that it has to do with the coating on the wall, the how bright is the light, the brightness of the light, and also the angle of your observation. Because you need the right amount of light to come back to your eyes, but not too much, because if it's too shiny and it drowns the signal. So if the coating is too much, then actually you might want to move it away a little bit. It's actually better to use something without shiny coating in general, but then you basically have to play with. Obviously, you put it further, it's wider, but then it's less. There's less light, so you kind of have to play with that, and it really depends on some elements. As far as your positioning from the wall, the reason that I'm always recommending to first come really close is because it automatically circumvents your brain's resistance of looking through the wall, because the brain, there's no logical reason to look through the wall. So I noticed for a lot of people it's difficult to convince their eyes to look beyond, and they keep when I keep trying to explain, and they nod, and then after 30 minutes I was like, okay, well, and then they tell me things about the surface of the wall. I'm like, not on the surface, look inside. And then they go, oh. So I always say, okay, so instead of doing all of that and being confused about it, come close to the wall, like as close as you can, and just appear as if it's a window, because it literally forces you to look through the wall, right? But you can see it from any distance. So the second you saw it for the first time, you can sit back. Actually, you can see it inside. You're just gonna need to kind of do the focal change, the same one you would do if you would be trying to look, like if you look at some kind of a smudge on the window, and then you would just change your focal attention to look through the window. But it requires an extra gesture from you, and if you don't know, if there's no way to convince your brain to see something there, then your brain just won't do it. So first really close to see it, then you can sit back and just look at it, and then you can play with the distance of the laser wherever you want. If it's too bright, move it back. If it's not enough, move it closer. It just kind of changes. So I know the answer is not that straightforward, but I think it's better to teach you how to fish than to give you the fish. They still don't understand the actual computational architecture for it. For what specifically? So about your question whether I have seen the code, and that is why I'm asking these to get a confirmation about that. Well, that laser haven't yet arrived, so I'm going to report back my experience. Okay. Well, this is something we might want to look at, because I looked at the tracking number, Danny, and it said that it was already in your country. So we might want to look into that. We'll talk about this in the email. Are the characters, and that was like 2 weeks ago, I think, so we should look into this. Are the characters similar to the Kecksburg UAP? I don't even know what that is, sorry. Oh, is that the one from, wait, let me see if that's the same thing. Kecksburg. I didn't know that's what it was called. Oh, no, that's something else. No, it doesn't look like that at all. Yeah, no, not now. No, sorry. But make it as favorites, so you don't have to look at them again. Look for them again. Okay. Okay, when it arrives. It would be hard to even transcribe 1 or 2 characters, but I feel like that should also be a good goal. You have it in the trailer. People reconstructed them. So in the trailer, there's a piece of paper with the red thing in the laser. Look on the left. You'll see the characters. That's what the characters look like. I'm also super interested in your finding on Jesus. Is the molecule space in the molecule space? Is there any way you can discuss this? If so, what video? If not, can you elaborate a bit here? I know it's complex, but I'm curious. So be careful. Okay, so it's not that well, again, of course, ultimately it's probably complex. Oh my god, what is up with this light? It's been dying on me so quickly. Okay. Move this. Is the light dying in general? I don't know. That would be sad. This light is great. There we go. I'm sure that ultimately it's complex, but the reason, well, first of all, I'm waiting for Rose because she wanted to talk about it, and I try not to repeat the same exact subject too much in depth one day, like one day after another, just so people that show up every day don't get too bored. But the truth is that, well, first of all, okay, I think people ask me to do a video about kind of like my vision of what I saw, like the ultimate picture, which I do think it's an interesting story, for lack of a better term, because I'm not claiming to know the ultimate picture. I'm just saying that I had a vision that kind of made sense, and a lot of people find it compelling. So I think it's a good idea that I will make a video about this. And actually, there's somewhat of an excitement inside of me to make it, so I guess it's a good sign. And I think the Jesus thing might actually fit in there, so maybe I'll combine that with that. But the short answer to why I'm not usually talking about it too much, because I have to stay very loyal to what I can say with any amount of confidence and what I can't, or at least that's what I'm trying to do. And the only thing I can say with confidence is what I said in the beginning of this chat, which is that I saw it, and it belonged to the same family of coherence and certainty that okay, so there's different kinds of content that you can see on the molecule, okay? And this is something that got me into this is a pain point for me, because whenever we discussed this with like my significant other, it was very difficult for me to convince her that there's like a certain level of merit to some of the content versus another. And so basically, you can see a lot of different kinds of things on the molecule. Very different kind of thing. It can do basically anything, really. And you do it long enough, you start discovering that it can literally do anything. It can make people appear, disappear. It can do anything. And but there's a certain kind of content that I receive sometimes, which is kind of the same flavor as the console. But it's not always the console itself, but it's a kind of a message, almost like again, vision is the wrong word. It's just like somebody sent you a video file, okay? And it has this kind of like stamp of like official from, like, like if you have, you get like an official message from Apple, let's say, from the company who makes the thing, and it feels and looks different than some open source third-party app, right? So there's an official statement by management, so to speak. So that vision, or whatever you want to call it, came with that stamp. It's like, this is from us. This is not some hacker somewhere. We're saying this to you. So that's why I'm taking it more seriously than any kind of other things that might be random content. That being said, it is possible, of course, that ultimately, even this layer of whatever I'm interacting with at the moment, also are not exactly telling you exactly how it is, for whatever reason. Either you're not supposed to know, they're just running an experiment to see how you're going to react. Who knows, right? But if I want to follow the thread up to a certain point, I have to kind of pay attention to what they're saying and taking it seriously. So it was expressed in that way. That's why I take it more seriously. And in that vision, I don't think I want to go down the full rabbit hole, because it actually takes a lot of energy out of me, because it has like also an emotional component that I'm not always necessarily showing on the live, but it does that to me inside, and that it takes a toll on me to talk about it. So I think I'm gonna reserve it, but just so you understand, this is why I take it a little bit more seriously. And yeah, I saw straight up Jesus, but not like Jesus came to me. I saw the whole thing, and I saw like where it fits. It was almost like a diagram of how everything is constructed, and I saw where that fits. This is also why I keep telling all our Christian listeners, there's also a bigger picture than what you think. So it's still part of a larger picture, okay? So, to be super clear, I'm not sitting here under the impression that somehow I'm the person that to whom the ultimate vision was revealed. I mean, that would be absurd, right? What I'm saying, however, is that if I want to follow the same thread of taking certain kinds of messages seriously from that space, I have to maintain coherence across that space, and this is why this is one of them. And I think that's all I'm going to say for now. And it is, I think it's important enough, and I will make a video about this. So if anything, know that one of your text is one of these that pushed me, like gave me the final kind of straw to like, okay, let's start working on that video. Probably might start working on it even this week. So something to anticipate. I really appreciate how you are careful to frame your explanations of the experiment from the point of view of scientific method, knowing there will be much criticism. I appreciate that. And yes, this is one of the biggest reasons why I'm very careful what I'm saying online and framing it. And by the way, I don't always succeed. It did happen quite a few times, especially in the beginning. I know on Reddit and places like that, where I would just, people really kind of got on my nerves at a certain point, and I was like, kind of lashed out a little bit, and I was never obnoxious to anyone, but more than I wanted to. And but yeah, I'm really, really trying to, because I know that whatever lives on the internet lives there forever. So eventually, when this gets big enough, for sure, 100%, no question about it, somebody will create that compilation of like all the shitty things I said, all the things where you caught me kind of like confabulating or exaggerating something. It happens. I'm a person. But to the extent that I can, I'm always trying to minimize these, because ultimately, I'm not really seeing it at this point. I'm not really seeing it attached to my personality. It's just a message I'm telling the world. And as I always quote Terence McKenna, the truth can take the pressure. If it's real, it can take the pressure. It doesn't need you to protect it. So I'm not worried about that. I know it's real. It will be found as such. But I do appreciate the comment, because I am very consciously putting a lot of emphasis of being very careful with how I'm talking about this stuff. So thank you for that. With that in mind, that would be funny if the next line was just "but," and I was like, oh, shit. With that in mind, isn't it possible that this is just what happens when this type of laser reflects into human eye and is processed through human brains? Is the molecule really crucial? Great question. How about using observers who are trained in meditative practice? So two separate questions. To your first question about whether or not if this can be just a thing that happens when you project the laser. So I understand the spirit of your question, and if you don't mind, I'm going to reformulate your question to actually get to the core of the conundrum. Because the direct answer to the question, the way you asked it, is no. It is not just something that happens. Or you might want to, when you want a clarifying question, which is like, what do you mean by it's just what happens? Science is not in the business of saying it's just what happens when. It's in the business of explaining why something happens when something else happens. So that will be kind of like, it will be not, which by the way, this is something that a lot of scientists kind of forget sometimes, the whole shut up and calculate era. And till this day, that people think that observation is the proof, and that it's never the proof, or it's not the explanation, sorry. Like the people that correlate the cracklings in the brain with consciousness and say, it's just cracklings of the brain. It's like, I don't know what you mean by that, but no, it isn't. So, but that I digress, obviously. I think the more general form of your question would be, is it possible that whatever it is that is happening to us on the molecule combined with a coherent light projected on a stochastic pattern of some sort, because most surfaces are a stochastic pattern of some sort, because you have the speckle effect, which counts for stochastic pattern. It just means repeating endlessly. Yes, but the level of detail, repetition, and coherence are the ones that are flying in the face of that claim. So it is possible to depart slightly, or even with the molecule, I would say even not slightly, to pretty outlandish visuals. But that by itself, by the way, I would refer you to Andrew Gallimore's book, Reality Switch Technologies, which is a phenomenal book in which he teaches you about neuroscience and explains how a lot of the substances work as far as we know. Then he explains why the spirit molecule is different. And my regular viewers would know this spiel, so don't worry, we're not going to go too deeply into that. The general gist of it is that the brain doesn't produce content. It's not what the brain does. The brain guesses. And only the things that impinge on it from the outside, let's set aside for a second what that means, but whatever impinges on it from the outside, from the senses, is what the brain uses to then say, okay, I think it's that, and then that's the prediction model. So the problem with explaining extremely coherent content is that the brain doesn't usually do that. Now, actually, to be quite frank, Gallimore himself disagreed with me on this point, specifically referring to the code, because he said that no, but we've seen language, and it is possible. We know of cases in which people see the language. I maintain that if he didn't try it, as far as I know, if he sees it, he will see why that's actually different. And I don't think that linguistically I can deliver to you why it's so different. I can keep adding details, but it's not going to help, because it's just the level of coherence itself. It's like how concrete it is, how real it looks. And to be quite honest, to me personally, the laser is just a tiny sliver of the whole thing, because I'm also seeing the console on a regular basis. I'm literally communicating with these beings all the time. But of course, I can't rely on that to convince anybody of anything, because why would anybody take anybody's word more seriously than anybody else's word? And I'm fully on board with that. That's why I always say I'm not really big on trip reports, because it's just like, okay, you've experienced it, so what, right? But because I know how real it is, or at least like if my brain produces such a coherent content, it makes no sense that it would all just match perfectly with that frame, right? And the laser works for multiple individuals, so at least you have one thing that can map onto other human beings. So I would say that when you combine all of these data points together, the answer to your question becomes very easily no. No, it becomes untenable. It's too much to chuck to random chance of everything exactly matching, like all different kinds of observation. And the real question is what the molecule actually does, because it doesn't just produce wacky content. It's not how it works. It's very coherent. So we went on a little bit of a roundabout, but I hope this answered your question to some degree. About using trained practitioners, as far as yes, actually I have, and I'm one of them. But aside from me, obviously, and no, meditation doesn't help, at least not at the moment. Breath work doesn't help, at least not at the moment. We'll see. Boy seen what you've seen too, but he doesn't think it's the same. Not sure what that was referring to. Sorry. If you had to choose one letter symbol to represent the whole thing, what would it be? Does one of them stand out? No, there's not one symbol that stands out. Could it be possible to experience the same phenomena while meditating, focusing on the laser deeply? So yeah, I think I answered that. Are you familiar with Dr. James Gates? Yes, I am. And his work? I am, yes. Something that I always add, that people usually talking about James Gates in the context of the simulation theory, that people usually omit, how do you pronounce this word? People usually leave out that part, which James Gates himself does not think it means we live in simulation. And that's very important. It is possible for somebody who even came up with a framework or a theory to be wrong about the implications of their own theory. Very possible. But you do want to at least give them a chance to voice what they really think through the level of expertise that brought them to understand the thing in the first place. So he does not think it means we live in a simulation, and that's something that's very important to mention. However, he does think it means something even more bizarre than that. And I'm actually with him, because the true nature of whatever the computational space is a lot more bizarre than people think. But the word simulation is much more comfortable and familiar, so I think it's useful. But yes, I'm actually with him on that. But yes, very familiar with his work. Is there somewhere that I can buy the laser ready to try? Yes, on our website, codeofreality.com. Codeofreality.com. Again, I always give this disclaimer. it will be much cheaper for you to. You can either order the ones we make, or you can just, there's a list there above actually, with all the items that you can just buy from Amazon. So what you can do, if the money is the issue, you can just find these items, either buy them directly from Amazon, or even source them from somewhere else if you find them for cheaper. As long as the specs are the same, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you can basically buy the one we make. It's just more compact and you can take it with you everywhere. So, and that's on codeofreality.com. Strange things happen. I think it is run by AI. When you look at the telescope, it might be rendering an image. Okay. Crazy, I was already started watching this exact holographic video earlier. See? No coincidences, man. Only 5 minutes in. Yeah, it's great. The hologram, more power through kaleidoscope refracting and bending imagery. That is actually interesting. Interesting, Jamie. I feel like what I've seen is definitely a series of characters I've never seen, therefore I haven't been able to pinpoint it. But when he says it's similar to Japanese characters, I can also resonate with that. Interesting. Yeah, kind of like Japanese. Again, the closest thing I can throw at it is Japanese, but it's not quite Japanese. Does it have to be done with a laser, or is there any other method you've tried? Tried a lot of different things. Diffracted laser is the only way at the moment. Even a laser pointer is not going to work. Do you think the Matrix directly? You mean like just like in the movie? If that's the question, no, it's actually the opposite. In the movie, we're stuck in a computer program. In reality, the claim is there is the computational or the digital world is the real world, and this is just a subset of that more real, more expansive computational world. So actually, the opposite of the Matrix upside down. Do you think there's a chance you are catching some kind of communication like chatter between themselves? No, because they talk to me directly. So there's not like they're very aware of what I'm doing. Do you think the Matrix director saw the code? No, I don't think so. I don't think they have any idea. Find someone with a verified photographic. Oh, we saw that. You need to be on Joe Rogan podcast. He'd love you. I hope so. No, you're right. We're manifesting our own reality. Joe will love me. Thank you, Strange Things Happen. I appreciate you. That's so nice of you. Thank you for the gift. The Wachowski were notorious for doing molecule a lot. Were they? I did not know that. Are you sure? Just know that Danny doesn't think they're the same. And there are people claiming the core can't be seen on the thing. So I don't know. The truth is, Jamie, that I really don't know because I just haven't tried. I don't know how to say it. How do we say it? One of the original psychedelics, okay? Albert Hoffman. There you go. So that molecule. I've never seen it on it, so I don't know. I've never tried, so I don't know. It's possible. It's possible that whatever original perturbation all of these substances do at the base level is enough to see the code. I don't know. So, theories of everything with Kurt, one of the best, truly. Everyone said the trailer to Joe Rogan. Everybody. Thank you, Stranger Things. I really appreciate the gift. Let's suppose it is not 3D, but a projected 1D into 2D, which extended into 4. What does that even mean? You know, Danny. And I hope everybody knows that Danny and I, at this point, we became pretty good friends. So if I'm busting his chops, it's out of love. So Danny, what does that even mean, bro? It's just like whenever I hear people say that, I'm like, do you even understand what you're saying? 3D projected to 1D, making a 4D, and then you flip pancakes in 5D. What are you talking about? I know I missed a lot of messages. But the symbols you and Seek and Seen also so funny. Well, Rogan obviously will blow it up. The Rogan effect, right? Wait, what? What if? Hey, Danny, hope you're doing well. What made you decide to look at a diffracted laser while the molecule in the first place? Hey, Kyla, thank you for the question. That's what the documentary is about. I mean, it's not really about that. It's going to be about humanity, but this is definitely going to be a big part of the story. And it's a long story. It's like it took years, and I didn't. It was like a lot of steps where I was trying to figure it out. So it was definitely not a fluke. Like I wasn't just walking around and all of a sudden saw it in the corner of my eye. Like I was actually aiming there. I was trying to figure it out. If we can find concrete evidence for your discovery, there will be a major paradigm shift. This is so exciting. Yes, but I also think that the paradigm shift is happening with or without the laser. Something you might want to consider. It's happening either way. I don't think it's a coincidence that we found the laser now. Here's a question. How do you know everything you are viewing with your eyes isn't 2D? Because what you call 3D looks a certain way and it has all the parameters of 3D. According to the holographic principle, and I'm talking about now the physics theory by me and names in general, but especially today, Leonard Susskind, is stating that the entirety of the content of the universe can be a 3D projection from a 2D surface at the boundaries of the universe. So how do I know that's not the case? That's actually probably the case, but I don't know if that's what you were asking. If that's what you were asking, then the answer is it's probably what's going on. We know AI is capable of seeing. Is there a way to get it to view the laser in similar mindset? Well, how do you put ChatGPT on the molecule? Do you have some drawings of the runes? In the trailer, there's a piece of paper with the red mark in the beginning. On the left of it, there's characters. That's what it looks like. Gotta run, wish I could keep running these experiments. I feel like this is an important discovery. The creator hid some amazing Easter eggs out there for us to discover. This may be coolest. I appreciate your triple, Boggy Boy. Hope you'll come back. AI can help us understand what this is. I agree. Hi Dan, can I use some CD plastic as a laser diffuser? I wouldn't do anything that can, because the CD would literally reflect it, so be very careful. I wouldn't use anything that can reflect. Unless I'm misunderstanding you. Leon Gray. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can click. This is it doesn't allow me to do. Oi, what is that? Escape. It doesn't allow me to click on it as a hyperlink. Let's see. Oh man, that sucks. Woo. Okay. Wow. Wow, it threw me all the way to the bottom of the chat. Okay, oh, here it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just save this. I'm just going to take a picture of this because I literally can't. I don't know why they do this, but they don't allow hyperlinks. Leon Gray, what did you share, just so I know? If consciousness is just receiving data, how do you know you're not processing 2D? I think it's the same question. What frequency does the laser have to be set at? I wonder if frequencies are a form of address, like Stargate. Brian, you're actually very close, if not spot on. Different frequencies seem to contain slightly added information. So green and blue would still have the code, but they would have other content as well. So I think you're spot on. People trying to hide this knowledge, low vibrations. I don't know if they're trying to hide it. I don't think anybody was aware. You got it, Eric. Did some participants in the laser experiment go in completely blind and still have the same experience as others? Completely blind? You mean from the laser? Why would they go blind? Never use anything above 5 milliwatts. And obviously, if it wasn't clear to anybody, you're not putting the laser in your eyes. You're putting it on the surface, on the wall, and you're looking at the wall. So just to be clear, if it's not, and with 5 milliwatts, you're good. Like, you can look at it for hours. Compact disc? Yeah, definitely not, because it's going to be reflecting. Are you doing the 3 inhalations? The laser you get on... Thank you so much, Data7. I appreciate you. The laser you're getting from Amazon that you can get for like $13 has the diffracted laser, diffracted lens on it. You don't need to be all ghetto about it. Are you doing the 3 inhalations? Wait, are you doing the 3 inhalations in under 1 minute ritual? Well, not for this. You can read the whole protocol on Code of Reality, and it includes the protocol of how exactly to inhale for this. I hope I didn't mess this up. Yeah, there you go. Have you considered the code might be ancient Hebrew alphabet based on frequencies? Some of it does look like Hebrew, so yes. Do we need the molecule to see the code with laser? Yes. Yeah, that they're doing like another kanji Hebrew. Yep. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna scroll through some of these because I will have to soon adjourn. Not quite yet, but I want to fast forward through the comments to anything that seems to be that stands out. I can't pin comments, unfortunately. Oh, I can make them visible. You should pin your email and other email. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. It's so funny because I love technology, and sometimes like the simplest things, like on YouTube and things like that, I just have no idea how to do. I'll definitely look into it. It's actually very smart. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Do you think the code you see in the code is surface laser projector laser photons themselves? No, it's not in the light because when you move the light, the code is not moving with the light, Tony. Asking you to read every comment is an impossible task, so Jess was pointing back to previous comments if you accidentally skip them, but you read them eventually, so more than I appreciate you, man. Okay, I'm gonna go to TikTok for a second. I'll be right back there, guys. Idioms, it's a measurement of how often something repeats, like sound wave, kind of a laser, is it? 650 nanometers diffracted. You can just go to codeofreality.com and you have the full list of what you can get, or just get something like that somewhere else, but make sure that the specs are correct. Just watched your AGI video, absolutely had my jaw drop. Never could have thought about that. I appreciate that because I feel like even though obviously it's not going to be a completely new idea, it's very difficult to come up with anything truly original. But I do think that this exact little frame that I painted was somewhat of an original idea. Even though, again, it's kind of like a mishmash of a lot of ideas that already exist. So I do like that video. So I appreciate the fact that you appreciate it. It's called Are We AGI on YouTube if you want to check it out. It's actually the thing that is playing when you enter my channel. And my YouTube channel is Dango Thoughts. If somebody's not on YouTube, DANGO Thoughts. On TikTok, you can also just follow the link tree in my description. And just want to remind everybody, if you're enjoying yourself, you can like the live. It definitely helps the algorithm and pull more people. The business communication with the entities, how's that been going? Well, I've been traveling a lot, so I didn't have time to travel to talk to them. And I'm also excited about the documentary, brother, and also great to see you. This is 100% real. I have verified many times. Brad, how are you, my brother? Just now seeing you there. Brad is a guy who reached out to me a few months ago, replicated the experiment, has been full on it, brought some very important people into the picture. I appreciate you, brother, and yeah, you're a blessing. Okay, let's see. Wow, so many comments. Okay, so I mean, this is a blessing. This is incredible. So many people showing up, but now I have to find out a way to kind of streamline the comments. And yeah, sometimes people volunteer to be moderators, but I'm gonna have to figure a way to do this on a regular basis. Let's see. Where's my accent from? I got it in Walmart. It was on sale. Left eye, right eye, reads across. Am I an elf? Maybe. That would be cool. In the simulation? I don't know what I am in the simulation. Some pivotal people in my life kept on looking at me very seriously and saying, "You really don't understand what you are, huh?" And I'm like, "What you talking about?" What you talking about, Willis? If this is a simulation, what characters are you playing? You mean what archetype? I don't know. What am I? We should put it to the vote. What do you guys think I am? You guys would know better. The ones that watch me every day. I mean, I probably have some overly romanticized idea of what I am, but what do you guys think? What it's like being another white. Jesus Christ. Alright, man. You're out. Shit like that doesn't fly here. Yeah, this is just like immediately out. We don't do racist here. Thanks. Bye. God isn't barcoding the terminal all day. Exactly. Wow, this comment is from a while back. So who are you crediting for the code in the Matrix movie than the Wachowskis or the CGI artists? Whomever read the sushi menu, which it is. I think the code may be due to how magic molecule affects the photoreceptors. Short answer is no, but I think I already went through this today. Everyone email Danny your B-roll. That's amazing. Oh, Matthew, finally comment from you. I missed you, man. So, is this experiment consistent? Do you people have identical experiences? Yes, that's exactly why it stands out. It's the same across everybody. What's the cost of the laser? Ours is expensive. I think it's like, depending on where you are in the US, I think it's $111 with shipment and everything. If it's abroad, it's extra $40 because it's like it costs a bunch of money to send it across. This is why I always emphasize it's much cheaper for you to just get the parts on Amazon. But the list of that is also on the website, so you can just compare and get whatever you want if it's a money-saving thing. So yeah, the thing with the lasers there is this, because people kept on just saying like, can you just make it for us? And then I had some beautiful people that walked in and was like, hey, they basically volunteered to do it. I was building them in the beginning and it was like extremely time consuming. So yeah, I mean, it's not really that viable to do, but when people insisted, we just started doing it. But this is why I always give this disclaimer, because only if you like feel called and you want to also contribute to the project, beautiful, will receive with gratitude. But if money is an issue for you, please don't, never would want to put anybody behind financially. Just get the super simple setup that you can just get yourself. So I have half of this equation. How do I find the laser you use? Codeofreality.com. Codeofreality.com. So sorry if I already asked a lot, but wouldn't it be damaging to the eye even if reflective? Great question. Not if it's 5 milliwatts. This is why I emphasize, do not get ever a laser above 5 milliwatts. He scrolls to the answers question to be patient. What is your platform about? I'm stepping in as a newbie. We usually talk about the simulation hypothesis. I'm claiming that I have found actual proof that we live in a simulation, and we meet here on the daily to discuss the discovery, the experiments, the implications, as well as science in general, religion, spirituality, God, philosophy, whatever comes to mind. Wow, it's almost like a speech at this point. Discover the code inside of everything. Multiple people have replicated experiment. Oh, wow, look at that. That was way better. Those lights get overheated. You mean the lights above me? Bro, spit out the Jesus connection to it. And is it any laser? Diffracted. Has to be diffracted. And never above 5 milliwatts. Okay, so let me scroll through. I'll do one more run here. How are you, Brad? Good to see you. You are a true editor. The way you frame the questions are on point. Thank you. I appreciate that. Is the data consistent across subjects? Yes. They all see the exact same thing. That's how so. Okay, I think we got... Wow, I can't believe we got to the end of that. It's really interesting how people report such similar experiences. Yep. Who's buying this? Communication with the entities has been... Oh, wow. Okay, maybe we didn't get to the end of this. Okay. All right. So let me go back to YouTube. Then I'll do another short run here, and then we'll slowly adjourn, because I also have another very long day of shooting tomorrow. Okay, back to YouTube, guys. Let me see. Let's go from bottom top. I'm just stumbled onto this. There's a documentary being released called The Discovery. When it will be released? Short answer is between 4 and 8 months, depending on how much budget we have to focus on it full time. That's the short answer, but we're working on it. Yeah. Do you need to be high to see the code in the laser? Have you tried it sober? Yes. Only 2 people that I met, or now 3, I think, that see it without anything. but also I think the word high is incorrect here. It's an altered state, but it's a very specific altered state induced by a molecule that is already made by your brain, or to be more accurate, by your body. We're not quite sure exactly where it's made. We do know it's made in the lungs, but actually, according to Gallimore, it's probably not made in the pineal gland, which is interesting. Also, have you tried anything similar with sound rather than light? Yes. Doesn't work. I think understanding certain things in the Bible, the Vedas, and Hermetics would give us a clearer picture of reality and its makeup. The truth is that yes, there's a lot of wisdom in it, but I don't agree with the making it much clearer, because it's always shrouded with like a lot of kind of like metaphorical thinking. So clearer, I don't think so. Definitely not the word I would use. So you're talking about metadata, the info steps in an image. Kind of, yeah, Mike. You're nailing it today. Console warfare, mechanical resonance, Buddhist chant, Hinduism. Tried the discovery today. You did? I want to hear about it. I'm inspired to write a book on my experience, and the information I received could take over a year. That would be amazing to know what you're talking about. Do you have to be on substances to see it? On a particular molecule that your body makes. Write it, that's going to help people. Okay. I rewound the live and got your email address, and I just messaged you an email. Okay, great. So you'll definitely receive an email back. Phantom Voices of Swords. Tibetan monks, they believe in all those odd things. Okay, try to grab some comments that are new. Thanks for still making the question. It is difficult to formulate. Definitely there an ineffable quality to this whole experience. Which, by the way, this is an important comment. The comment is, thank you for still making the question. It is difficult to formulate. Definitely there is an ineffable quality to this whole experience. That is exactly what the laser is not. And that's why it stands out. That's a great distinction. It is not ineffable. It is not esoteric. It is not you seeing through the third eye. It's just like you seeing the regular world. That's why it's so crazy and unique. But that's a great distinction. Thank you. Also, have I tried 1 close-up video of it and 2 using magnifying glass? Yeah. I mean, you can see it both in content that you recorded, if you're on the molecule, and magnifying glass helps you to see it, yes. How long do you think it will take to have something meaningful out of this? I don't know. I have no idea. We can determine what elements make up atmospheres by how light refracts to gases. Could the code you see actually just be the code of the water and the glass? No, because when you move the light, the code is not moving with the light. It's moving on its own accord on its own side. So it's a completely different frame of reference. How are the characters stacked? Rotating around buckyballs, giant columns that are moving all together, and switching in one spot. I'm just going through these quickly now because I know that I have to adjourn in a moment. When you said, do you think you have caught the chatter or communication? I'm saying, what if the code is their communication? Yeah, it just seems to not be communication as much as it's just like the structure straight up. So I sent you What If Joe Rogan idea. That is one of the contents I had access to after I found the channel previously linked. I'm curious about the most radical perspectives and Joe I found. I see. Okay. 3D projection in 2D doesn't sound possible. Maybe the other way around. No, so just so you know, console warfare, that is actually one of the most promising theoretical frameworks in physics today. You can look it up. It's called the holographic principle, originally developed by Leonard Susskind, and now supported by many very famous and respected physicists, including Sean Carroll, who's a very straight shooter. Sean Carroll doesn't usually get on board of anything unless it has like a very, very robust potential. And no, it's exactly what the 2D to 3D is exactly what the holographic principle states. So it's very possible. Just like the video suggested. Okay. Being fictitious, flipper, quite ironic. You don't really seriously be prepared of confronting evil. Many actors stop you, reality unforgiving. Sure, but you can only do what you can do, and Stay as loyal as you can to the truth. What determines the frequency of the laser? The wavelength, which determines how frequent the waves are, which is the frequency. Essentially, they're really one and the same. It's just a description. It's a metric description of the same thing. The wavelength is how long is the wave, which is at the same time how frequent each peak of the wave comes, which is the frequency. But it's literally the same thing. It just uses two different metrics. One of a length and one of how often, which technically is also length in this case. More flexible layer being ghetto. Get tomorrow. The guy asked if anyone wants it into Project Blind. Can he change the diffraction pattern? But I'm not sure what you mean by that. You don't want me? I can help with things like that. Then, yeah, that might be good. I mean, for future reference, because I'm gonna adjourn in a moment. But if you want to email me, I would love to talk to you, and then we can make you moderator. It's lasersimulationx@gmail.com. What happened? I don't know, man. What happened? I'd say you're either Watts or McKenna. Take your pick, and I'll take what's left. I don't know. Nowadays, McKenna, for some reason, is falling out of favor with people, which I don't understand why. He was an absolute genius. Okay, back to the topic. No, portrayal in a sense. Color doesn't match fully. What sushi receipt is actual. Okay. All right, guys. So this breaks my heart, but I do have to. Do you think those acousto-optic modulators would work? Change the laser color on the fly? Yeah. Thank you for reminding me that, Cal. Would you do me a huge favor, brother? Can you just text me this? Because a text from you, I will definitely be easier to refer to it. So just text me on my phone, because I want to look deeper into this the second I get back home. Cal, I'm talking to you. Let's see. Just in the video, I'm extremely interested. Which molecule you just? And then. Buenas noches. And that's.
We're leaving the house at 8, so I'm waking up at 7.
Okay, perfect. So also people going to sleep in the house, another reason to adjourn anyway. So yeah, I'll see everybody tomorrow. Again, all the other platforms, if you feel like following me on the other platforms, TikTok, it's Danny Goller. YouTube, which is the longest form of the videos, it's Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts, or on TikTok you can just follow the link in my the link tree in my description of the profile. On X, Goller Danny. And on Twitch, LaserX83. It's a brand new channel. So in any case, I will definitely, if you come back tomorrow, I'll answer more questions, and we'll hopefully maybe dive a little bit more into the whole element of all the content inside the molecule that people seem to want to engage with. So until tomorrow, peace and love, everybody. Ciao. See you also to YouTube and X and Twitch. Thank you so much for being here and supporting. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Probably close to the same time as today. I'll try and advertise it in advance. And again, everybody can email me. lasersimulationx@gmail.com. Wait. And gmail.com. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. I respond to all my emails. See you guys. See you tomorrow.